Hey drummers, John here with RTOM. Welcome to Drum Triggering 101. Today we're diving deep into the world of drum triggers, specifically the RTOM BH trigger. If you're considering the BH triggers and you're completely new to the trigger world, this video will equip you with all the knowledge you need to dive into a totally new dimension of drumming. So grab your sticks, get comfy, and let's get to it. Let's just start with the basics. What are drum triggers? When you hit a drum head equipped with triggers, this sends a signal to a drum module, which then triggers a pre-programmed sound instead of the natural sound of your drum. Think of it like combining an acoustic kit and an electric kit into one very powerful hybrid. To get started, you will need the following items: the black hole practice system, BH triggers, a bunch of TS cables, a drum module, we couldn't throw that, and whatever DAW or drum software you will be using. With so many drum modules out there, choosing the right one can feel very overwhelming. Consider your budget and needs before deciding. For the purpose of this video, we're going to break it down into two basic categories. The first category is modules or strike pads that include preloaded samples. These are the easiest to use. Just plug and play. Examples include the Yamaha EAD10, the Roland TM6, or the Alesis Strike Multipad. They may cost more, but they are super convenient in the long run. The second category is interfaces without preloaded samples. These are more budget friendly, but require more setup. They don't have preloaded sounds, but work with software like Easy Drummer or Superior Drummer. This gives you ultimate flexibility in choosing sounds. As far as DAWs are concerned, most DAWs have software built in, samples and samplers in order to achieve sound out of your triggers. Most samplers are very similar, and when in doubt, most issues can be resolved with online tutorials. Other sampler programs such as Easy Drummer and Superior Drummer are plug-in applications that can also be used in tandem with your triggers. These applications usually have samples already assigned and ready to go. For our purposes, I'll be showing you how our BH triggers work with the DDTI and Easy Drummer. So most of the time we do get questions about the D-Drum DDTI trigger interface because it doesn't have any preloaded samples on it. Right now, I'm gonna walk you through the super easy way to get samples out of your triggers through a program like Easy Drummer. I'm going to go over and open up Easy Drummer, and already it has a preloaded drum set on there. We see that we can click on things like the snare drum and the toms and get sounds out of them. But how do we get those sounds mapped to what we put into our D-Drum DDTI interface? Now, if we look at the back of the D-Drum DDTI, we can see that everything is labeled super nice and neat and easy. We can see that there's inputs for the kick drum, the snare drum, each one of the toms, crash cymbals, and so on. You're going to want to use 1/4-inch TS cables to go into each one of those inputs, and then the inputs on your trigger. You're going to want to make sure that everything is mapped out there correctly, because then the next part is a breeze. Now, looking at a program like Easy Drummer, we need to tell the program that this is the interface that we are using. So you're going to go on up to something like Settings. You're going to go to eDrum/MIDI in, and you're going to see I already have the DDTI checked off. I've got the audio box, my interface also running. I'm making sure the DDI is checked off. I'm going to go to something like mapping and hit my snare drum. It's making a sound, my rack tom, my bass drum. Perfect. Awesome. Everything should map itself. But if you ever need to figure out, oh, wait, my snare isn't on my snare, it's on my rack tom or so, you hit that drum, and then you go to learn, and then you strike whatever drum trigger you're using, and that will be now your snare drum. And then from there, all you really have to do is change your drums, change whatever settings you might have to adjust on the interface itself, and get to work. Time to put your newfound knowledge into action. Mount your BH triggers, get your favorite samples loaded up, and get ready to start experimenting with limitless sampling possibilities. For additional tips and tricks, make sure to check out our other triggering tutorials on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. BH triggers. TS cables. That was awesome.